Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome in. How's everyone doing? I feel like it's Friday. I know that it's not, but to me, it feels like Friday. I don't know why. Amy, I don't think he's opening his messages or seeing your messages. How am I going to word this? I feel like he just doesn't have, he's just not in the mindset to respond when you reach out to him. So in a way, yes, it is intentional that he's not responding and you can see his messages, but I don't think that he's necessarily wanting you to, like, okay, so for example, if you want someone to know that you're leaving them on red, you will open their messages, read it, and then hopefully eventually they get the picture. Do you get what I mean? I think that there's a difference of intentionality here. So I think that what's happening is he's seeing your messages and is not in a space to respond at that time. And so yes, it results in a purposely leaving your message open. But I don't think he's trying to send you a message by leaving your messages on red. I don't think he's like sitting here saying, hopefully she figures it out. I'm ignoring her. I don't think it's like that. I think it's more like, I'm not in the headspace to respond. And then maybe he just forgets or something. That was a very long winded message, but I didn't know how to answer that question.
So your ex,
Hey guys, hold on a second for me. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I was trying to do so many things, and
Hey guys, sorry about that. We had a little emergency. It's pouring down rain where I live, and like a carton of eggs fell and got everywhere, so I had to go clean that up. Um, all right, so let's catch up here. Minor, I have a yes. The Hierophant, Nisha, I have a no. 5 of Cups. Smiley, I have a yes. 4 of Wands. I think it'll eventually work out, though. It might just be a difficult time initially. Misrak, I say yes. The Empress. Nisha said it does feel like Friday. All right, you all are with me then. I'm glad I'm not alone. Okay, so Pinky, I am getting a yes. 4 of Swords and 8 of Wands. Arisha, ask a yes, no question. Never mind, Arisha. I see your question here. I see that I'm getting some donations. I'll update the list momentarily. Arisha, I have a yes. The Lovers, yes. Sarah, I have a yes. 10 of Cups. Okay, Amy. Sarah, I answered your first question. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I answered the first part of it. Earth Angel, I have a yes. Strength. Marta, I have a no. The Tower. Ray, I'm not really understanding your question, but I got a yes. 6 of Pentacles. Nyasia, I have the Hanged Man. This is not a decision you should make right now. I think you should wait a bit. Thanks, Nyasia, for the donation. Sag Girl, I have a yes. Wish fulfillment. 9 of Cups. Angelic, I have a yes. 2 of Wands. You're welcome, everyone. Sorry I can't speak to everyone individually. I'm trying to catch up right now. Sienna, I have a yes. King of Pentacles. You're welcome, Marta. You're welcome, Earth Angel. Sag Girl, I already answered your question. You're welcome. You're welcome, Naija. Princess, I have a maybe, 2 of Pentacles. I know I'm getting donations. I'm gonna update the list momentarily. Just please be patient. Benita, I think you need to be cautious here with this person. I don't know if you can trust them 100%. You're welcome, Sienna. Lisa, I have a yes. 8 of Pentacles. You're welcome, everyone. Samaya, I have a yes. 8 of Wands. You're welcome, Princess. You're welcome, Benita. You're welcome, Lisa. Amy, are you in the chat? You're welcome, Samaya. All right, we're going to give Amy about 1 more minute. I saw that she was working, so she said to just skip her if she's not here. Queen Libra, I do have Cash App. The link in the pinned comment brings you to all of the different payment options that I have available. But to make it easy, I'll throw Cash App in the chat for you. Okay, we're going to move on. Next up, we have Naija. So Naija, if you are ready, we are ready for you. Rising, thank you for the donation. I got you. So my mind keeps going back to nursing for some reason. I want to use my 2 questions to compare it to social work. I got accepted to start a social work program in the fall, but can't seem to shake nursing. There's more prestige and flexibility. Oh, girl. Well, I don't know much about social work, but what I do know about nursing is that it requires a lot of dedication and time. And it seems like it's something that you have to really have a lot of follow through and commitment to. And not that you can't. It's not like I feel like, I feel like you're capable of doing anything you put your mind to, but it's just something to consider that you would be expected to make a long-term commitment to this I guess career. Now social work could be just as involved. I just don't know as much about social work. Oh, they're the same time frame. Okay. Are you mentally prepared to take something like this on? Either one of them? Like, is this something that you're ready to do? All right, I am pulling for that comparison now. He said, I had tons going on right now, some a bit scattered. I literally have 3 different projects that are left on red that I need to finish. Oh my gosh. Air shit, I know. I know, girl, I know. Nursing. Nursing. Guys, hey, chill. I'd work towards a nurse practitioner. I'd be able to prescribe meds. Social work wouldn't allow that. So I got you. So you'd want to be a nurse practitioner. All right. So I know that you want to do philanthropy work, right? You want to create some type of safe space for people to go to. You have all these plans and ideas in your head of what it is that you want to do. I'm seeing the comparison here. What I'm getting is that with nursing, while it would, guys, I don't know what it is about. Brendan literally comes home from work and he's in the shower and they act like they've lost their fucking heads. I don't understand. They're screaming at each other. They're pulling each other's hair out. It's like the alpha male walks in and then they got to prove themselves. But the shit pisses me off because Brendan's in the shower right now. So I've got to deal with it. Ugh. Anyways, sorry. If you hear cats screaming and biting their heads off, they're okay. They're fine. They're just being dramatic. Anyways. I'm just like, this is so stupid. So as far as nursing goes, I know there's a lot of pros and cons for both. I think when it comes to nursing, did you guys hear that loud ass thud? One of them just body slammed the other one into the guys. Jesus Christ. Okay, there's a lot of interruption during your reading, Naija, and I'm like, she shouldn't be making this decision right now. That's all I keep thinking. But anyways, with nursing, let's just say you take that route. The question you have to ask yourself is, while you'd be a nurse practitioner and you'd be able to prescribe medication, and while that would be so beneficial for what it is you have planned, the question is, how hands-on do you want to be? Because here's the thing, in the beginning, this might be the best decision that you ever made because you're going to be able to really make a difference and be very impactful because you can decide yourself, like, am I going to do pro bono work? Am I going to do this for free? Am I really going to be able to help people? That kind of thing, right? And feel like you're making such an impactful difference right there at the jump. And that's a big deal. But how hands-on do you plan on being throughout the course of this, like, business that you plan on starting, this nonprofit? Because at some point you are going to be CEO and you're probably going to have to put more of your energy and more of your focus on, like, long-term business and back-end stuff, where you might have to hire a nurse or something along those lines rather than you being the one at the front lines. So you really have to think, like, how how much hands-on do you plan on being? Because I think nursing is a great trajectory if you plan on being that person up front throughout the course of your nonprofit business. Now, if you don't, then maybe having the social work aspect and understanding is just going to be overall beneficial for your business, because you're going to know the ins and outs, how the system works. Like, to me, it seems like nursing is such a big deal because you're going to really be able to see the difference you're making. But the issue is that can't anybody do that for you, because the social work aspect of it feels almost like it's a whole system integral understanding that you would have at your fingertips. You would have these skills needed, that basically from start to finish, you have this overall understanding of what it is and how the system works, and maybe have some like shortcuts and things like that. You'd hire someone else to run the non-for-profit. So if you want to be more on the hands-on healthcare side of things and be able to say, this is what I'm doing, the nonprofit can pay me a salary, but I will do work for little to no cost so that I can really make a difference, then I think you should go the nursing route. I don't see, Naija, why you can't do both. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I feel like you are so capable of doing both. I think at this time it's just like, which one do you want to do first? Now, if you were to ask me, let's just say you had the money, the ability, the energy, the motivation to eventually do both, what should you start with? I do think it should be nursing, personally, because I think that's going to make the biggest impact from the start. Because you can start small and work to bigger, right? I feel more like social work is like the big picture and the nursing is the small details. And I think for you, because you have such a strong like ambition, I think that's why you're struggling with this so hard, because you know that both are going to work. I think it just depends on mentally and physically, where do you see yourself fitting in? And if you think, oh, well, I don't want to handle the business end stuff, I'd rather be on the front lines, showing my face, being the face of the company, then maybe nursing would be a better option. I love how you said, yeah, I really shouldn't be making that decision right now. It's so funny. I'm like, you guys, chill out. Honestly, it'll be 50-50, hire someone else for the nonprofit. I want to do both, making sure that I have a work-life balance. The nursing would turn into nurse practitioner virtually to help underserved communities. And the reason why nursing would be really great is that too, it can give you an income while you're building this up. You know what I mean? You can help people as well, like one for your nonprofit and then in your underserved community, like plans, and then also like if you need an income, this can also provide that for you at the same time. um I know what you mean about needing a work-life balance. I completely get it, and I know that we have this conversation a lot about making sure that you have a good work-life balance and not overdoing it or burning yourself out. But I don't see why you couldn't do both. I don't know if you can do both at the same time. I think that's honestly asking too much of yourself. But I think that at some point you're going to want to. I think you're going to feel the need to have certifications on both sides. Exactly, Naisha. I don't see you doing it full time. I actually was about to say that I don't think you would be able to do it full time, or you wouldn't need to do it full time. I had that thought when you had said that you want to have a work-life balance and that you'd be able to help people in underserved communities. Um, Specifically because I don't see you being able to like for instance, work at a hospital and be on call all the time. I was thinking more like traveling nurse, or maybe working more like a structured clinic where they had set hours. But if you were to ask me, I think nursing might be the better decision to start with if you can do that. Like if you get accepted into a nursing program as well and you're trying to make the decision between both, then maybe nursing would be a better start for you and eventually get to the social work side of it, if that's what you choose to do. I think both are great options. I just think that it depends on, again, how involved you plan on being, more hands-on or more running the business aspect. And it sounds like you want to be more front and center. And so it seems like the biggest impact you'll be able to make, because here's the thing, when you're a nurse, you make the decisions. When you're in social work, you're at the restriction of whatever system is set in place. You know, if you can do your best and you can try your hardest with social work, and I'm sure that you will make an impact regardless. But the thing is that you a lot of times are held to the authority of the powers that be. There's a system set in place for whatever reason. Whereas if you're a nurse practitioner with your own licensing, you get to call the shots and make the decisions on how you're going to help. To you, I think it would feel more fulfilling as a nurse to be able to make those decisions and make a bigger impact right out the gate. That's the only thing. So yeah. I also feel I want to reiterate that I think this is something you should think on a little bit more. I want you to feel very confident about your decision, and I think right now you're just not there yet, but you're working towards a decision. Yeah, I think nursing would be a better fit for me too. They even have a part-time program. Yeah, I don't like the restriction that social work offers. I want to have less limits as possible. You just made me feel so much better. You should be a therapist. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to think on it. I've thought about actually going to school to be a therapist. I have. I've always loved the idea of being like some type of like psychiatrist, therapist, counselor, but it does require additional schooling, and that's just not where I'm at in my life, but it's something I wish I would have thought of earlier on. You're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad I made you feel better though. Think on it a little while longer. Don't rush yourself. But I think, like I said, you're working towards a decision. I think honestly, you probably might be almost fully decided. You just have to like pull the trigger, you know? You're welcome, Naija. I hear you about schooling. This all resonates. Okay, good. I'm so happy. I'm happy that you're walking away a little more confident. That makes me feel good. I'm glad it resonated for you. Thanks for stopping by, Naija. Have a great night. Okay, so is Amy here? Bye, Naija. Have a good night. All right, so Amy or Smiley, if one of you guys can check in with me, that would be great. I want to know about me moving. My lease will be up in July, and I'm trying to see what challenges will I be up against. All right. What challenges can I face? Challenges can I face? Okay, so one of the challenges is that you might struggle finding a place that you're satisfied with. There's going to be something that you feel is not quite it. It's not quite exactly what you're looking for. As I was shuffling, the advice was that try to try to search or research sooner than you would expect. So if you feel like, oh, if it's up in July, maybe I should start looking in June for a new place. I'm hearing like start earlier than that, like start even like April, May. Whatever it is you feel would be sufficient timing, go a little bit sooner than that because you can change this trajectory. It would give yourself more time, feeling less stress, less pressure to find what it is you're looking for. Now, I understand in your head, you're probably thinking, well, if I check too soon, then maybe by the time that I need to leave or move, it won't be available. It depends on what it is you're looking for too, which I haven't asked you yet, but are you looking for another rental? Are you looking for an apartment? Are you looking to buy a house? Because that's going to also depend on like how much time you want to give yourself. But what they're showing is that if you don't make any changes, you don't prepare any differently than you currently are, you could be left with something that you're not exactly looking for or not wanting, not necessarily like wanting, or it's maybe not in the location, or it's not the price, or there's something here. I think that it's important that you start doing this research, if hopefully you have already, but if you're looking for another rental, um look at maybe potentially, like, for example, do some window shopping, see what the houses look like, where they're located, what it is that they have that you're looking for, because maybe you won't be able to rent it immediately, but you can see, oh, actually it seems like they're going to be a little bit more expensive per month for me to get what it is that I want. So maybe right now that means I need to be tucking more money away and not door dashing, or not, eating out, or maybe just whatever extra expenses I'm using right now, tuck that away into savings so that way I can afford the specific place that I want. So maybe just do some window shopping. For some reason, I'm just hearing like a block could potentially be something as simple as just being dissatisfied or feeling like you missed out on an opportunity that, had you have done a little bit more preparation, you would be able to get what you want. Four of Cups specifically talks about dissatisfaction and feeling like you missed out. It's like a FOMO type of card. Also, with the High Priestess, is indicating that you, number one, you have the ability to get this. The Magician and the High Priestess, you are capable of getting what it is that you're looking for. It's just going to require a little bit more foresight from you. Nine of Pentacles feels like this is something that you're going to do on your own. I don't see necessarily other people helping you, so that's good. It doesn't feel like a block, as in like you need help from other people. It's also making me feel too that the blocks that you might face is just on the current trajectory. As long as you make these decisions, these different choices, and preparing a little bit sooner, maybe you'll realize that, oh, well, maybe I should not take 3 weeks off of work. Maybe I should just take 2 weeks off of work. Or maybe I shouldn't go on vacation before I move out. Maybe I should save that vacation for after when I move out. Maybe instead of spending this extra money on this, and that, I should hold on to that money so that I can afford the rent of the house that I want. Um, Maybe if I had reached out to this homeowner or landlord sooner, then it would still be available for me. Maybe I could have built a rapport with this person, and then that way I could have what it is I wanted when I moved out. Again, it doesn't feel like a lot of blocks. I feel like you handle this on your own. You're able to take care of it on your own. I don't see you necessarily needing anyone else's help or relying on anyone else, but it's more so saying that you have the power here. You just will want to do, I guess, like better preparation, and that feels like it clears up some blocks. Thanks, Smiley. All right, we're checking in with Amy again, and also Rising Storm if you're here. All right, I don't think either one of them are here, but I do have Rising Storm's questions, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on her reading. All right, this is for Rising Storm. Queen Libra, thank you for checking in. So rising, I will say that I feel like he's feeling more hopeless. I don't think that he's holding on to any hope. I think that he knows that life is unpredictable and to basically expect anything to happen. And I'm not saying that he's not open to the idea, but I am saying that I feel like for him, he doesn't think that anything's going to happen. I think that he feels very final. um doesn't mean that he's happy, no, not necessarily. I don't think he's satisfied with this at all, 4 of Cups. But I feel like he just thinks that it just isn't in the cards, so to speak. um I think he's in that stage right now of acceptance. I feel like he's thinking to himself that there's nothing that he could do to fix this or change your mind. And I think honestly, that's like an excuse that he tells himself to make himself feel better about the fact that nothing has happened and nothing potentially will happen. I think this is more like a cop out for him to basically say, well, it wasn't going to ever work out anyways. Like, it's just a way for him to not feel guilty or not to feel regret um, over your connection, because it's easier to think that there's not a chance than it is to think that there was a chance and he didn't take it. Crow's Nest, hey there. Welcome in. I'm going to add you to the list momentarily. Just bear with me for just a few minutes. Rising, did you have a question about that before I move on? Crow's Nest. Okay, that sounds good. It's pouring where I am. Pouring. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we were in like a flood warning situation. Oh, it's okay, Rising. I had started your reading a few minutes before you joined us again, and I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have any follow-up questions to that first one before I move on to your second one. Joe, I have your donation as well. It's okay, Rising. Just let me know. I am going to just go ahead and shuffle for your second question now. So Seven of Swords is funny to me because it's the card of kind of hiding out and lurking, trying to pretend like something doesn't bother you, even if it does. I do wonder, or I do wonder, I'm speaking for him. He wonders if you are invested in this person that you are talking about. I think he wonders like how much or how interested or invested are you in this person that he saw you talking about. And I feel like for him it's more the Seven of Swords is kind of like him kind of trying to be a little bit sneaky about obtaining information. I think sometimes he really wonders. No, that's the wrong way to word this. He thinks worst case scenario. He thinks to himself that if he sees you talking to another man or talking about another man, like instantly you and this person are together and you are like being intimate with this person, like he immediately thinks the worst or expects the worst. So I think that he's jumping to a lot of conclusions after obtaining this information, and he's sitting here wondering like, what is the scope of your relationship with this person? He is feeling a little bit territorial, a little bit possessive, a little jealous, but he's not gonna act like it or show it. I do feel like he is creeping up on your page though. I think he wonders like how you met this person, how involved you are with this person. Have you known this person for a long time? What's the story here? So more so than anything, it's like a lot of questions swirling around in his head about this person and seeing if there's any other information that he can dig up. So he's basically treating what you're doing as like breadcrumbs. Like he's trying to get every single bit of information he can from social media platforms. You're being very picky about what information you're putting out there, and he's eating it up. Like he's paying attention to like everything that you're doing. I don't know if he's seeing it like as soon as you post, but he is lurking. So he's still here trying to see what it is that's going on in your life. And whatever it is that you allow other people to see or know about, he's paying attention to it. You're welcome, Rising. Okay. Next up, we have Queen Libra. Rising, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Sonia, thank you for subscribing. I can answer your question, but it'll have to be in between donations, so just bear with me for a few minutes, okay? All right. Everyone should see the updated donation list and what order you guys are in. If you can't stick around, you can pay to skip. And if you can't wait around, you can leave your question with me and come back later. Or you can stick around and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Amy, with the way the list is going, it seems like, yes, I'll be here around 6. I'll hang in there as long as I can, okay? Queen Libra, I'm shuffling for you now. All right, so Queen Libra, I am getting that you're most likely to go out this weekend with them. I have the Emperor, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. This indicates like fun, going out, being in public. Anything can happen. And the Emperor indicates that the plans that you guys have made feel pretty fixed. Like they're not really a high chance for these plans to change, that they're going to go out this weekend and you should be a part of that. I feel like as far as them being fake to you, I have the Four of Wands and the Hermit, and then I also have the Judgment and the Chariot. I think there's still, I don't know if these, I'm for some reason the scope of your relationship, like the dynamic feels like these are new people in your life. Now, if they've been there for you for a long time, like if you've known them for a year or a couple years or something like that, the relationship feels like it's very surface level. Like it doesn't feel like a deep, genuine friendship that at this point, if you've known each other for a long time, you should be having with them. If they're newer, then I don't think there's necessarily anything to worry about right now. Okay, that's fine. So you just met them. So I feel like what they're saying here is that they still have a lot to learn from you. You're kind of feeling them out, they're kind of feeling you out. I feel ultimately that their intentions are genuine, but at the same time, with the Hermit and the Four of Wands, it's indicating we still have a lot to learn about each other. We're not really sure. This Chariot card that I have is like, I want to move forward with this, and I want to see like how well we all get on with each other. But the specific Chariot card that I have usually is a clear direction forward. The illustration on this card that I have in my hand, it shows someone, I'm trying to describe it to you, but someone's sitting in a vehicle and they can either turn left or they can turn right, and it doesn't seem like they know which way to go. So to me, that feels like they just haven't gotten and like to know you well enough yet to know how this is going to play out. The Judgment card here also indicates that they still are trying to make a judgment call. They're still trying to feel you out, get to know you, decide if you're someone who they want to continue to hang out with. I think at this point, it's just a matter of building that bond a little bit more to determine how well this is going to go. The Hermit card talks about needing to get deep with someone. So, speaking about something vulnerable or sharing a secret, or I mean, honestly, even if this sounds bad, gossiping with each other, because statistically, it's shown that in social constructs, gossiping is actually not a bad thing, and it actually brings you closer. And it also helps protect you from other things that someone else is telling you about, good, bad, or the ugly. So I feel like they do plan on going out this weekend with you. And I don't think you should jump to the conclusion that they're being fake, but I do feel like they're a bit guarded because I don't think they know you well enough. So you should also be the same way. Don't put more into this connection than what you're getting out of it, but just know that there could be the potential for a genuine friendship here. It's just too soon to tell. Yeah, as far as if they will actually come, it feels like a yes. I think they're excited about this. They're open to it. We have the page of cups and the knight of cups, so this indicates like a lot of like exciting, fun, um somewhat romantic feelings. Not like they're into you, like they're attracted or anything like that, but I'm just saying like they're very interested in this idea. They're romanticizing how much fun it's going to be in their head. And the emperor here um indicates a very fixed position. It means that the plans that were made, they don't plan on changing. So I feel like, going off of this reading, they are going to go with you and you are going to hang out this weekend. You're welcome, Queen Libra. Oh, good. I'm glad. Okay, perfect. So next up we have Crow's Nest. Crow's Nest for a in-depth reading. Crow's Nest, if you're here, go ahead and check in with me and also post your question. All right, this is a question for Sonia. Yes or no, new sub. Yes or no for Sonia, please. Sonia, I am getting a yes. The 3 of Wands for your question. Yes. All right. So Crow's Nest says, what will Chris Leo's next actions be towards me in the near future? All right, let's see. You're welcome, Sonia. Hey, Gina, welcome back. Our free list is closed. We're working on donations right now. Make sure, Gina, I know you've come in a couple of times recently after the free list closes. Make sure you get here early, okay? I do free readings, whether you've been here before or not. I do free readings at the top of every single live stream that I do, the first 15 minutes. So as long as you have your notifications turned on for my channel and you get here early at the beginning of every live stream, you should be able to get a free reading with me, okay? Crow's Nest, we're shuffling for you now. All right, next actions. Next actions. Okay, so Crow's Nest, something tells me that Chris wants to kind of put himself out there. He's thinking about taking a risk with you. I think that he is worried about rejection, so he's kind of on the fence right now. I have 2 of Pentacles where he's thinking through both options. And one of those options being more forward with you, depending on where you are in your relationship, taking things to the next level. whatever that means for you and your person. So, if you guys are just associating with one another, um, maybe going on a date, if you're dating, maybe being committed, if you're committed, maybe doing something more substantial like getting a house together or getting married. He said, I told him I wanted to work towards commitment and I'm hoping he communicates with me. So he's taking what you have said to heart. And I think that might be why he's deliberating so much right now. I feel like he's considering risking it for the biscuit. Like he's really, really thinking hard. I think that he worries about disappointing you, but I think that he is very worried about ruining this. Like I think he feels like worried about that. Let's see. We have the 2 of Cups here, so it indicates that he sees being with you as a very positive thing. The Lovers. So there's a lot of deliberation going on. I have the 2 of Wands where he's thinking, do I do this? Do I not? The 2 of Pentacles kind of shows someone almost like flipping a coin, heads or tails. There's like this duality in this reading of, do I take the leap? Do I, bite the bullet? Or do I just let this go? And so I feel like right now he's in that place of like back and forth, back and forth. But I think that he is considering just going ahead and giving you what it is that you need or you want from him, because I think he is very worried about losing this connection with you. We have the 9 of Cups here. So he's trying to figure out how to satisfy your needs and expectations while also making sure that he stays true to himself and doesn't just do something for someone else for the sake of doing it for someone else and not listening to what he feels is best for himself. He's trying to find some type of compromise where you both can be happy. I think that you do push him out of his comfort zone quite a bit, and he's in deep thought about this. He would like to make a change. Judgment indicates that he knows that he can't keep up this way of living, that the way that he's been going on about this with you is not something sustainable. So essentially, if he doesn't do something about this, he knows that that is a decision. And if he does, that is also a decision. He knows that you're getting to the point of feeling like maybe potentially walking away. If he does nothing, you probably will just not be with him. And I think he's worried about losing you. What are the next actions? What are the next actions? I have the 4 of Cups and the Lovers as well. Again, what are his next actions? To me, Crow's Nest, I feel like he's more leaning towards commitment with you. Because I feel like he worries about you not being happy in this relationship with him. And I think he would rather get out of his comfort zone than lose you. But we're still on the fence. So I would say more like 60-70% ish leaning towards communicating with you about this and committing. Maybe like 30-40% still trying to figure out if this is what he wants. So I would say he needs more time to figure this out. I feel like he would be coming to a decision in the very near future, though, because I have the Page of Wands, and pages, just like with aces, typically can happen. Anything can happen unexpectedly or fairly immediately. I would say, where are we right now? February. You'll hear from him, I would say sometime next month. So in March. he's just still going through a deliberation stage. But I can kind of tap into what he's thinking right now. And I think he's saying, I need to get out of my comfort zone or I'm going to lose this girl. So he's figuring it out. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm picking up. Hey Peter, welcome in. What can oh wait, I think you gave me your question. You put your question in the PayPal note, right? Okay, I'm reading it now. Crow's Nest, you're very welcome. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. I hope you enjoyed your reading with me. All right. So Peter, I'm just going to go ahead and throw your comment on the screen just to keep track of your reading. And then I'm looking right now, I'm looking at your note. Okay. All right, Peter, we're shuffling for you now. Okay, so Peter, I feel like I do not think that this person has any plans on reconnecting with you. I have the Two of Pentacles as well as the Page of Pentacles. That's very uncertain energy. I'm not saying that this can't happen, but I don't think that this person intends to reconnect with you, especially because the Six of Cups, which talks about reconnection or reconciliation, is here next to the Queen of Swords, which is someone who's cutting someone off. Very cold, very blunt. This person was very just heartless, it seems almost, and does not have any intentions to reconcile with you. Now, if on the off chance they do, which I don't see happening, I feel as though this person is going to pretend like they didn't do anything wrong. If you somehow run into this person at the store, or if somehow you have a mutual friend and you show up at the same place together, or if this person ends up reaching out to you, which again, I don't think is going to happen. There's no intention here of that. But if they do, I think they're going to try to pretend like they did not do anything wrong. So I do not believe that you're going to get an apology from this person with the way the energy is at this time. I think that you're probably more likely to never hear from this person again. Said somehow my son changed my nickname on here, so can't change it back to my name for another 6 days. Oh my gosh. That works. I always do readings for people who have different names from their mobile payment apps versus their YouTube channel. I think that's pretty common. I'm sorry, Peter. I wish I had more information. I'm sure you deserve an apology. You're welcome, Peter. Thank you for your donation. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Cindy, I'm glad to hear you're doing well. My free list is actually closed, but if you'd like to donate, feel free to do so. I'm going to be on my live stream for about 20 more minutes, roughly, and then I'll be signing off after that. Cindy, what would you like to know? Oh, wait, I see it. Never mind. I see it in your notes. I'm looking at it now. Hey, Rising, I got your donation. All right, this is for Cindy. Cindy, I'm shuffling for you now. Cindy, I feel like this person you're asking about is still putting a lot of hope into your connection. Now, I feel like they're like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I have the Temperance card with one eye open, meaning that I feel like he's keeping an eye on you. He's thinking about you. Potentially, he could be like watching you. I know that you guys are at a distance, but I feel like what that means is he might be trying to keep tabs on you as much as possible. So, one of the biggest ways we do that now in the modern day is by social media platforms. But I feel like for him, he's saying, like, I'm still keeping my heart into this connection. Maybe not fully, but I still feel like he has hope for you guys. He still thinks that a miracle could happen and something could work here in your relationship. I think that while right now the center of the reading talks about fear of missing out and feeling like there's a dissatisfaction, he's still trying not to let that reality affect his hope for your relationship. He does go through his days feeling like he's on the outside of your life, feeling like he can't talk to you as much as he would like, see you as much as he would like. And he's just not a part of like your day to day. So I think that's hard for him because he wants to be more involved with you. But I feel like he's not scared to put in the work as long as he thinks that it's realistic. I think he would be willing to put in the effort. Now, I have the moon here, and this does talk about how there's still some inner conscious or subconscious things that you guys will have to work through. But I feel like overall he looks positively on your relationship with one another, and I don't think that he's fully ready to walk away from this. Yes, Cindy, I think so. You're welcome, Cindy. Rising, are you still in here? Hey, Rising, I'm shuffling for you now. Sonia, you can definitely donate. That is still fine. Once the donation list is closed, I'll post it so you guys can see. Sonia, you're going to be after Rising Storm Tarot, okay? So Rising, they're kind of showing me some themes of neglecting you, and the relationship. I feel like he's on this path of destruction at the moment where he's kind of spiraling out of control, sabotaging anything good, feeling unworthy. So it does make me feel like while you have been making a statement and you have been standing up for yourself, he is choosing to, instead of grow from it, hey Amy, instead of grow from this or try to make changes, he's more like playing the victim and feeling sorry for himself. So I'm having a hard time seeing him make you an obligation. I feel like more than anything, this just gives him a reason to step back even more than he already has. Um, let's see. It almost feels like he's like just trying to poison any kind of chemistry that you guys have. He's like poisoning the water because I think it's easier for him than owning up to his mistakes and mending this connection. What could happen? What could happen? What could happen? What could happen? Five of Swords clarifying the Two of Cups. So he's feeling I don't know, there's a lot of tension going on here. I feel like he just maybe he's trying to convince himself that he's better off. Nine of Pentacles here, talking about how he just preferred to be on his own or be single. I really feel like he's just trying to use this as an excuse to walk away or give less to this connection than what he already was. And maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's, you know, the universe saying, hey, like, let's take this person out of your life because it's going to be better for you that way. Like any good card that I see, like you have Two of Cups here, you have the Five of Swords that came out with it. The Lovers, you have the Ten of Wands coming out with it. It makes me feel like he's just trying to push you away. You're welcome, Rising. I wish I was seeing something different. Sonia, what can I do for you? Okay, Sonia, that sounds great. So that love spread is designed for you and one other person. So would you be willing to give me the person you're thinking of? Would you prefer to give me their initial or their name or maybe their last initial or their sun sign? Just something to tie you together for the reading. Okay, Sonia, thank you. We are going to shuffle for you now, and the option 1 is going to answer the questions how you both feel, what are your intentions, is there anything that you need to know about the connection, and what is the overall underlying energy. Amy, that sounds good. Okay. Ronnie. Okay, so overall, Sonia, I feel like this person and you are hoping for like a new start together. Like I feel like you guys want to reset or hit a reset button here. Things just never really they're not really happening the way that you would have wanted ideally, and I feel like there's this strong desire for you guys to have like a clean slate, or there's just something here about like starting over or hitting the reset button um on this connection. I feel like he's feeling lonely, he's feeling isolated. um and the thing is he's I feel like he's choosing sometimes to have these moments of isolation, like maybe in a car ride, like a car drive home. He might sit in the car longer than usual, or maybe he's not being as social. This is something that he's choosing to do, but it's still making him feel isolated and lonely. There could be like heavy feelings of like missing you, but generally it's like he's saying, I have plenty of negativity to go around and I'm feeling very like sad. Okay. Or there's some type of negative emotion like anxiety, fear, stress, insomnia. Like he's going through something right now that feels kind of heavy. um and I feel like he's worried about your connection. um the 7 of Wands here, as your feelings indicate that you're feeling more motivated to overcome any hardship or challenges. You are more motivated to like handle this head on, confront this issue, put it in the past. Like I feel like for you, you have a lot more energy to try to fix this, I guess, or like, or maybe not fix, but maybe progress forward. Like you're very motivated to get over this hump that you guys are in right now. And I feel like he, your person, um is feeling more hopeless than hopeful. You guys are balancing each other out. They're seeing a lot of the negative stuff and you're just trying to think as positively as you can. I feel like he wants to fix this, but he would rather not. Do you know how, like, if you don't work through your problems, if you just try to ignore them, they always keep coming back up? But the reason why you don't want to confront things and you don't want to take care of things is because you don't want to have to go through the discomfort of the challenge, right? If an argument needs to happen, if a discussion needs to happen, and you want to ignore it and pretend like there's not an issue here and not talk it through because you're like, I don't want to put myself in a momentary, temporary feeling of discomfort, these problems will keep coming up, coming up, and coming up. You need to handle things face on. I feel like his intention is to just pretend like there's nothing wrong right now. Like I feel like he wants to see you, he wants to spend time with you, he wants to be with you, but he doesn't want to talk about things that you need to. He doesn't want to get serious about the issues at hand or the topics at hand. He wants to pretend that they don't exist or they're not a problem. And I feel like you are different because you are saying, in order for us to be able to move forward, we can't pretend like things aren't happening. We can't pretend like there's nothing going on here. You're like, we need to talk about this. We need to confront this head on because we're in this weird place right now. Um, and what you need to know is that until these conversations happen, until you guys are able to confront these things and be really, really vulnerable and honest with each other, you're going to continue to have this happen. Now I asked what like the underlying energy is, and I am seeing Four of Wands. So to me, that does feel like there's a mutual interest here in furthering your relationship. It's just that he wants to just brush over things. He wants to kind of coast and pretend like things aren't happening. Whereas I feel like you are like, let's get to the bottom of it. The end result is still the same. You both want to make this work, or you guys both want to come together to a mutual understanding. It's just he's wants to take the easy way out and you're willing to put the work in to have the conversation. So that's what it feels like to me. um Let me know what you're thinking, or if you have any related follow up to that reading. Okay. Thank you, Sonia. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Oh, Amy. That sucks. You're welcome, Sonia. Thank you. So, Amy, things feel, maybe you'll be happy to hear, just in like a selfless way, that I feel like he's enjoying life a little bit more. Like I feel like he's more positive these last couple of days, or maybe like today and yesterday. He's feeling more inspired. Um I feel like he thinks that like anything is possible, anything can happen. Like for a while, I think his life was feeling a bit daunting, and he just was very much like, I don't want anything to happen. I don't want anything to change. Um and the thought of him having to do something that he didn't want to do was just very daunting to him. But I feel like he feels more free, he feels more liberated, he feels happier, and he's thinking like, whatever happens, happens. Like I don't want to stress about something that I can't control. I just want to enjoy things right now. Now, on the flip side, what's going on with him, because he is feeling these emotions, he's also like, n- he's not stressing, I guess, as much about his relationship with you. What I mean by that is, I think for the longest time, he was trying to kind of keep you at arm's length because he was so worried about what's going to happen here, what's going to happen between us. And now I think he's just thinking like, we're going to hang out when we hang out, and when we don't, we don't. And I'm tired of feeling, like he's saying, like, I'm tired of feeling guilty. Like, if I want to see her, I want to see her. And if she wants to see me too, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And, if we get into a relationship, then that's what happens. And if we don't, then that's what happens. And I'm going to be fine either way. Like, I'm gonna be good. And I think he's saying to himself, like, I'm not gonna sit here. If she messages me when I'm busy, I'm not gonna feel guilty anymore about um about it. And so I just want to be clear, on your side of things, it's not gonna feel much different, because on your side of things, he's acting the same, but things are changing for him. Because before, if he didn't respond to your message, he'd feel very guilty about it, because he'd be like, I know I've got to message her back, but he would be thinking about it constantly, being like, I hope she doesn't hate me, I hope she doesn't like think I don't want to talk to her, like, da 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 da. And now the actions are the same, but he's not stressing himself out as much about it. I think he's really just trying to say, you know I feel like he's just trying to set a boundary for himself. He's very much like a people pleaser mentally. He has a very guilty conscience that if he goes and does anything for himself, that's selfish, and that's not selfish. I think he's just feeling more liberated, that he's like, I'm just want to do what makes me happy, and I don't want to feel like I owe anyone anything. And when I want to text her, I'll text her. When I want to see her, I'll see her, as long as she wants to see me and talk to me. But I'm tired of feeling guilty about these things. If I'm just out doing my own thing and I'm having fun, I should be able to and be allowed to just focus on what I'm doing and not have to worry about another situation. So I feel like for him, again, it's not going to look much different on your end. It's not going to feel different to you, because his actions towards you are not changing, but his feelings are changing. Like he's feeling better, he's feeling happier, he feels less restrictive. Um, and my advice for you, Amy, is text as much or as little as you want, but you have to do it without the expectation that he's going to be available to communicate with you. Because I feel like that's an unfair expectation, especially when he really doesn't owe you anything. Do you know what I mean? So, what I would love to see is he just reach out to you and we just call it a day. Because what's happening is you're noticing so much when he's not communicating with you that it's starting to make you, like you said, feel worried about your connection. Whereas if you always left it up to him, you would never feel rejected. Like you wouldn't ever feel rejected because he'd be always reaching out to you. And you'd be like, oh my God, Eli's like always, every single time we communicate, it's always him coming for me. Whereas if you reach out to him and he doesn't respond, then you feel rejected. Then you feel worried, you know? But think about it. Think about how if you never, and here's the thing, I know that you want to maintain a relationship with him. And so you're trying to do your part because you know that it's a two-way street. But at the same side of that coin, it's a two-way street. And you're going to start to feel like a burden or like you're texting too much or rejected in some way because he's not communicating with you as much. But if you flip the script and you only respond to him when he reaches out to you, you're never going to feel rejected. And I don't want you to question yourself either, but that's what's been going on with him. Like he's just been setting his boundaries and he's been trying not to people please and he's been trying to put himself first and do what it is that he wants to do. And there's nothing wrong with that either. That's it. Like I know he's a shitty texter, especially when he's told me. So don't put yourself in that situation where you'll like more guarantee yourself to feel like he's pushing you away. Amy, there's something called, this is this unrelated, sort of like a side note, but there's something called a human design. And I'm wondering if you are I think they called it a projector. I'm wondering if you are what I am. Um, Give me a second here. Just getting off topic really quickly. Okay, so there's different human design types. There's generators, projectors, manifestors, and reflectors. There's also manifesting generators and stuff like that. There's like subcategories, but there's 4 different design types. It's kind of like a personality type with the ENTPs and ENJPFs or whatever. There's something called a human design that goes off of your birth chart information. And I'm wondering if you are a projector like me. Because projectors need to be invited to things. They need to be the one that people are reaching out to. Because we get deflated very easily if we feel like we're being ignored. If people aren't responding to us positively or responding at all, or we're the one hosting like a party, for example, we get really deflated when no one shows up or no one comes. It like really bothers us. Me and my husband are projectors. So they say is that you should wait for an invitation because therefore you will never feel rejected. You should look up your human design type. I'm just curious. Anyways, He said, I didn't respond back to him till 3 hours later. Also, to clarify, he doesn't think I'm bothering him when I text him, and he does like texting and talking with me. So I feel like when you message him, it doesn't bother him. I don't think he's sitting here looking at your messages, rolling his eyes. I think, as a matter of fact, it might make him feel good to see that you're trying to maintain a conversation with him. But I don't think that he considers you enough in those moments to respond to you right away. I definitely think he's making himself a priority. But when he wants to talk to you and he's ready to talk to you, he does enjoy your conversation. But he's basically setting this on his own terms right now. He's not taking into account how it could potentially be making you feel. Before, he was feeling very guilty about it, and he's recently changed his stance that he's not going to feel guilty if he's setting a boundary for himself of what he's going to do and when he's going to do it. Like, for example, for me, my sister and I have had this conversation many times. Definitely look it up, Amy. Definitely look up your human design. I'm just curious. You might also be a generator. My guess is a projector or a generator. But anyways, I for me personally, like, I have an issue with notifications, texts. If I know someone's texting me, I feel this anxiety unless I respond to them. It's a problem for me. So much to the point where, like a couple months ago, or maybe a year ago, I was considering getting a house phone. And that way, if I knew if it was an emergency, whoever needed me in emergency would have my number. But I can literally like turn my phone off because I was constantly addressing messages, instant messages, like notifications on my phone, way, way, way too much. And I think that's kind of how Eli is that he was feeling very guilty if he wasn't getting back to people right away. And I think that it was starting to take a mental toll on him because he knew and he knows that he needs to focus on himself right now. And so what I started to do myself was set a focus time on my phone, like a sleep time, from I think it's like 11 o'clock at night until like 10 the next morning. If anyone texts me, I don't know about it. I don't get a notification. Emergencies can call through to me, but my phone does not notify me of anything other than my house camera, security camera. Otherwise, I get no notifications. And that's me setting a boundary for myself for all instant messaging, messaging through Instagram, messaging through Facebook, all that stuff. I've turned notifications off because all day long, if I'm going in there and I'm intentionally looking at it, that's fine. But I feel like that's almost like what Eli is trying to do. He's trying to make himself not as available because he knows that he's gonna gotta make himself a priority right now. And Amy, yes, that's exactly the point that I'm getting to, is that he's doing this with everyone. It's not just you. So Amy, I know that you donated for a second question. Did you want to go ahead and post that now? I gotta get dinner made soon here. We're doing, or I'm making baked potato soup, which I'm really excited about. I'm anxious. Oh, because of your trauma. Yeah. You notice every little thing in detail. Oh, God. I know what you mean. You like overly think through a lot of stuff. But you know, Amy, you have to not put such emphasis on what other people think and what other people are going to do, because here's the thing, you can't control it. If someone's going to love you, they're going to love you. If they're going to cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you. If they're going to talk to you, they'll talk to you. If they're not, they're not. There's nothing that you can do to control what someone else is going to do. And isn't it much more beautiful for someone to unconditionally and selflessly want you? Not because you were trying to control and overly think the whole entire connection, but because they genuinely want to be there. I think that's the difference, is that once we realize we can't protect ourselves from everything all of the time, yes, pay attention to red flags, be observant, don't be an idiot. But at the same time, we can only control ourselves. We can't control what someone else does or how someone else responds or how someone else reacts. We have to just hope that they have our best interests. And we just have to have faith in that. And unless and until they prove differently or show us something different, then we have that choice at that time to walk away or to stay. But we can't control what someone else does. Like, they are who they are. And once we realize I'm in control of me and they're in control of them, you can start to feel so much less anxious. Also, Amy, it's important that you take people at face value instead of overreading and overcomplicating things. And I'm saying this from a place of my heart because I have been like this before. I'm not telling you anything that like I also haven't experienced myself. So once you can kind of separate and differentiate the two, it can make you feel a lot less anxious. And if someone invites you to a party and says, "Hey, the party's at 8 o'clock, come if you want," you're not going, "Well, they said come if I want. Does that mean that they don't want me to be there? Does that mean that they don't care if I go? Does that mean that they do want me to be there? And should I get there at 8 or should I get there more like at 8:30?" Like, overthinking every little thing. No, just take them at face value. The party's at 8, come if you want. Don't overthink every little thing, because that's your anxiety and that's just going to make your life so much more stressful. Okay, so let's shuffle for your next question. Trust me, Amy, I've been through my fair share of trauma myself. Like, a lot of trauma. And I think that that's just a trauma response, is to overthink everything, to overscript everything, to think about every little situation that can happen, to think about your way out through something, because our bodies are created for self-preservation. Our bodies are created to never want our lives to end. We are created to always want to be here. Even at the very last minute, we want ourselves to be here on this planet. We'll do everything we can to survive, everything we can to protect ourselves. So when we have trauma, it just adds that extra layer of self-preservation and self-protection, and it can be very consuming on a daily basis because we're overly anxious, overly worried. We can only do what we can do. We can only control what we can control. We can plan, we can set goals for ourselves. We can try to hit those goals and be proud of ourselves when we do, but we're not perfect and we're not going to be able to do that every single time. We just have to do what we can, do our best. Oh, for some reason Nightbot is still going. I don't know why. This happens to me every single time I forget to turn Nightbot off, and Nightbot just wants to come in and tell people that my list isn't closed, even though it is. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle for your next question. And then I'm going to go ahead and sign off so I can get our dinner started. Okay, so this is a good card, Amy. I have the Ten of Pentacles. So this makes me feel like he's saying, I like Amy in my life and I want her to be in my life. We also have the Ten of Cups. So he's saying that he feels like you guys get on well, and that your relationship could go the distance. So I think he has a lot of faith and belief in your relationship with one another. That it has really great potential to become something big or to last a long time. I think he has a lot of positive feelings towards you and what he thinks could happen here in this relationship. I think he's motivated to continue. I think that you got a lot of good cards here. He sees you as a very compatible partner for him, someone that he knows that he can lean on and rely on, that offers a really good support system. He feels like you're straightforward with him. He feels like you tell him the truth and that he can trust you. He's still here with temperance, okay? So he's trying to pace himself, but overall I think that he's saying like, I like her. I want her to be in my life. I hope she's in my life for a long time. Um there is a romantic element here because we have the Ten of Cups. So this talks about feeling feelings feeling, like they could see you as their potential girlfriend, um or even more than that. I have the Eight of Wands, and this indicates communication. So he's communication with the Eight of Pentacles is saying that he wants to try harder to have better communication with you. So that's something that you can look forward to is he's trying to have better communication and not be such a shitty communicator, as he put it. I think he's thinking a lot about you, and I think maybe today has put a little pep in his step. I think that it's really helped for him to be able to get out and get out of his head. I feel like this is only going to benefit the relationship. Amy, I think you should just have faith. You know what it feels like to be with him. You know the connection that you do have with this person. And I think you just need to trust that he's feeling the same way. And have faith that everything's going to work out for you the way that it's supposed to. Because I'm a big believer that whatever is meant for you will stay. Whatever is meant for you is not going to pass you by. That's a mantra that I have, that I tell myself all the time, that if it's meant for me and I'm supposed to have it, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay right here. Jazz, oh my gosh, hey girl. Oh, my list is closed, my friend. I'm actually taking tomorrow off, but I'll be back on Friday if you want to try to catch me then. Amy, yes. I think he's saying he wants to make, no, sorry, he wants to work on his communication skills with you. Is that he wants to be a better communicator. He wants to improve that aspect. Bye, Jazz. Thank you for stopping by. It was good seeing you. Yeah, Amy, I think you've got a lot to work on, girl. You've got to address this stuff like with yourself or in therapy, and figure out some good coping mechanisms, because I hate to say it, but anxiety is from a dysregulated nervous system, and that stems from trauma. So if you're overly worrying, overly stressed, and I say this with love because I am the same way and I have been the same way, and I do think I'm getting better. But every once in a while it gets pointed out to me that I over worry a lot. Um and again, I'm not doing that with my relationship or anything, but I do that just with life in general, and it's something that you should try really hard to address within yourself, because it could project onto your friendships and in other relationships in other areas in your life, and you don't want that to destroy something really good. So it's definitely something you have to work on. You're welcome, Amy. Yeah, so that's something I would definitely work on if you're in therapy, um, or anything like that. I would talk to them about what is something I can do to like regulate myself, to have less anxiety about certain situations. What can I do? Because you don't want to rely with coping mechanisms. Coping means that you're just doing it to gloss over something. You want to know how to address it, how to resolve it as much as possible. Yeah, Amy, I totally get that. And I don't think that he is, just to be completely honest with you. But my advice is that you can't control what he's going to do. You just have to have faith that he's not. And if in the end he does, then you know that that just wasn't your person. But I think that's why it's also important that you are very picky about who you invest your time into, who you are affectionate with, that kind of thing, because you don't want to give in too quickly to someone and then they end up having the potential to really hurt you. You got to make sure that it's the right person. And that even if heartbreak in the end happens, that it was worth it, because that person was meant something to you, you know? And I'm not saying this to project any concerns or worries on Eli. I'm just speaking very generally. Yes, exactly. Their actions are reflections of them, not you. Exactly. They're responsible for themselves and themselves only, same as you. They're not responsible for you or what you do or how you act. All right, girl, I'm going to go ahead and sign off because I got some things to do and get done. But I will see everyone on Friday. I'll be back with another live stream. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, Amy. Bye. Oh, don't forget to look up your human design. Okay, bye.